Let's make party decor for 4th of July. Hi, and welcome back to my craft room. My name is Kelsey. I also call myself Dinosaur Mama, and today we are making a complete party set for 4th of July. This set is going to come with a banner, a cake topper, and cupcake toppers, which can double as straw toppers, and we are going to put these together quite quickly because they all kind of have the same elements. If you are new to my channel, I love to make freebies, so you can find the link below to the blog post, which will have all of the free SVG files to upload into your cutting machines. And while I have you here, if you enjoy making crafty things and you like to save money, please don't forget to subscribe so I can continue to bring you new freebies. With that being said, we're gonna quickly jump into Cricut Design Space. So I've already uploaded my cupcake toppers and I duplicated all of these so that they had a front and a back. And I'm gonna show you how to change your lines for all of these since it's kind of like a set, so they're all really similar in terms of what you have to do. So for the sizing for the cupcake toppers, I did make them about 2.75 inches, but you can adjust them up or down for whatever size cupcakes you have. Just keep in mind the smaller that they are, it's just gonna be a little trickier to assemble. And then I will obviously be showing you how to do these. So for my banner here, right now it's about 36 inches wide or high, but that doesn't really matter. We're really looking at the width. If you did 36 inches, that's going to be just about 3 feet wide. So that's a good amount. And of course that includes the string in between. So keep that in mind. You can go ahead and ungroup everything. And we are gonna have to change some stuff here, but everything else should be good to go. And this is a great way to see how big everything is going to be. It's going to be about 6 inches in terms, or 6.5 inches in terms of each little bow. Now for these right here, what you can do if you only wanna do this once is actually delete one of them. And you can go ahead and you can drop down and ungroup. And now I know there's 4 of these. And again, you can do this however you want. You're gonna go in and on these lines, you're gonna change them to score. Now, if you don't have a scoring stylus, you can just delete those lines and then you're gonna wanna make sure you attach it back. Now, if you want to, you can do that to all 4, or again, you can delete the other 3 and then just duplicate back 3 times. So now you have 4. So then what I would do is I would go ahead and grab everything that was there and I would duplicate that as well. Now, if you wanted to, you can add another set onto the end, or you can write in something. It's totally up to you how you want to do your banner, but I thought this was like a cute coquette style banner. So this will match onto your cupcake toppers, and the last thing we need to do is our cake topper. Now again, this is gonna have the similar theme. So I'm gonna go ahead and I am going to resize it first, and I'm gonna go based off of this one right here. So right now it's way too small. It's 3 inches wide. I want it to be about 6 to 7 inches wide. Again, I'm gonna go here, and that is just a little too big. So I'll go back down. Let's go down to 11. And that's just about right. So we'll go to about 10.5. Okay, that should be perfect. 7 inches wide. And now again, we have to ungroup and do that same thing. So you'll do this for all of them, where you have these score lines and you will attach. I'm just gonna delete them again and duplicate. Now these ones from the banner are slightly different than the ones from the cake topper and the cupcake topper, so just keep that in mind. But I did keep the color scheme the same on all of them, so you do have that. And once you have everything scaled out and ready to go, you can go ahead and hit make. I hate that Cricut does that. I really, really hate that. So we're going to go ahead and we are just going to adjust everything as we need. So if it needs to be cut out, you'll see there's a lot of weight right now. We're gonna move some stuff around and then cut everything out. I'm gonna cut everything out in cardstock and use hot glue to assemble a lot of this and some craft glue. So the first thing that I'm going to show you how to assemble is the big, I guess you would call it like a fan for the banner. And this technique is going to be the same for all of the pieces. So when you go and make the cupcake topper and also the cake topper, it's going to have this element, and this is the same technique. So we're just folding into a fan for all of those white pieces. That's why there's the score lines to keep them even, but you really don't need the scoring stylus for this. You can just fold it like a fan, that you learned when you were in elementary school. So once you have everything folded into a fan, you are going to take this and you're going to fold it in half the best that you can. Try to keep it as even as possible. And we're going to line up those top pieces. And then we're going to use our hot glue to secure this together to make that fan. So it's not like a fan like in elementary school where you would cinch the bottom. We're cinching it together in the middle so that we can create 1/4 of the entire way around the back. So like I said, we're going to be doing this for all of the pieces. So this is just one section. So you're going to repeat this for all 4 parts. So there should be 4 parts per piece. I hope that makes sense. So this banner has 2 of these fan type circle pieces, and you are going to want 4 per piece. So I'm going to do the same folding like a fan, and then I'm going to glue those on. So each of these is going to be folded pretty closely, and the cupcake toppers and the cake topper have less folds, and so that's why I said in the Cricut Design Space portion that it is slightly different. These have a little more folds because they're bigger and easier to fold. And so I'm just hot gluing these pieces on. So I hot glue it down the middle, and then I hot glue it to each other to create a circle. And again, you're going to be doing this for all of the different pieces. So you see I fold it in half, then I add some hot glue to the edge, and I attach it to the piece that we just did. So there's 4 pieces. They each make up 1/4 of it, and it makes a really beautiful fan pattern. And you can use this technique for like really any decor. And honestly, you don't really need to cut it out with your Cricut, but it is helpful to have those score lines. I found it helpful, at least, because I knew everything was even, and that's why I did it. Okay, so once you have your full fan ready to go in a circle, now we can cover up that center and make it look pretty. And so I am going to use my hot glue gun to attach on the circle, and then I'm going to use foam squares to add a little bit of height on to our center. So that's optional if you want to do that, but you can definitely just use craft glue. So I'm just going around in a circle with my hot glue here. This also like secures that fan a little bit extra too, even though it's pretty secure as is. And I am just going to go ahead and place that circle down. You see me flip it over, but you can't even tell that it's textured paper. So there is the center. I made sure it was nice and even on there. And now I'm going to use my foam tape to add on some height to add on the stars. So again, that's optional. You can definitely just go with hot glue or craft glue for this. And I definitely suggest craft glue for the other elements in the rest of the party decor. And you also don't have to make a banner out of this. You can definitely size this up even more and just make wall decor with these. And you can change the centers and do whatever you want. These are excellent party decor for really any kind of party. You can change it and just use that technique of that fan to create for any theme. So for the banner, there are 2 of these that you will create to add on. Now I'm just going to do the bow, and I'm honestly going to speed through this. I don't feel like you need to watch me glue on pieces of a bow. This is really something that you can just kind of pull up on Cricut Design Space to see where all of your pieces go. And then I just used craft glue to assemble this. So nothing super fancy. It's really just like putting a puzzle together. And you'll have 3 of these to make. So you see, I have all of my pieces assembled for my cupcake toppers, and I'm just using paper straws as the holders for this. I'm going to cut them in half just so they're a little bit shorter. And you see that that circle fan is created in the exact same way that I made the big one. However, these are just double-sided, so I added a circle on to the back of it and the star as well. So it covers up that center on both sides. So for these, you'll use some hot glue, and you're just going to attach the paper straw into the middle or your cupcake stick, whatever you have. What I did for mine was I just sort of flattened the straw, since it's a paper straw, with my fingers. So it had like a little bit, I don't know, like of a lip for it to grab onto. It wasn't like big and bulky in the center. And I'm just adding hot glue to both sides, and I'm going to sandwich it right into the middle of each of those items. So again, this is how I made my double-sided cupcake toppers, and this was a pretty simple process to do. The only thing that takes a little bit of time is actually making each individual piece, because all of that little white and all of that red, well, I guess not the red, but all of the white and the blue is individually placed on. So you do have to just have a little patience when you're assembling these. You can also just make them into a print and cut image if you don't want to sit there and place each one. And as always, feel free to use the SVG as you see fit. If you want to change something, do something different with it. I put all my freebies out there for you to use your creative spark. And all of my SVG files on my website do come with a small business commercial license. So you can use these if you want to make them and sell them for sure in your small business. But I thought this was a very cute set for 4th of July, and I hope that you like it too. So the last thing that we are building is our cake topper, and again, I'm not going to bore you with just like assembly here, so I'm going to speed it up, but I am making all my layers, and I'm using my craft glue to do the white onto the red, and then foam tape for red onto the blue, and then again, we're going to do that fan for behind the circle that is already attached to that blue backing. And I am also using the foam tape to attach on the star pieces, but you can do whatever you'd like here. If you wanted to use craft glue as well, you can do that. But I just like to add a little bit of height on to my cake toppers. So then after you have this piece ready to go, you can start to make your fan, which will be made in the exact same way. I'm folding back and forth on that white piece on those score lines, folding in half, and then I'm going to hot glue the center and then hot glue all the quarter pieces together to create that circle. And you can also make this as wall decor as well, which would be really cute. It doesn't have to just be a cake topper, but it is in that style. So I wanted to make you a full set, but like I mentioned before, you can use these SVGs however you see fit, and you can totally change them to match your theme. Sweet Land of Liberty is pretty 4th of July themed though, so you do have to kind of use that for 4th of July. And now I am using hot glue to add my stick in. And then I think off camera, I did use a little bit of hot glue to attach that fan, that circle fan, on to the Sweet Land of Liberty just a little bit more. And I did not forget, I know it is a banner. So I grabbed some yarn and I just hot glued that on to my pieces, and I did my best to evenly space them out. So if you are doing a banner, don't forget to add on your string. And here is the final set. We have a banner, we have a cake topper, and we have cupcake toppers. They all go together. I really did love making this set. It kind of brought like a little spark back to me. I think it turned out great. I hope that you like it too. And I'm happy 4th of July. Thank you for joining me as we made our party decor for 4th of July. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. It helps me so much. Subscribe to my channel for new crafty videos, and share this with one of your friends who is hosting a 4th of July party. I will see you soon in my craft room, and stay crafty.